Hey guys, and welcome to this week's webinar. I'm Dan.
And this is David.
And today we are going to go through setting up tryouts, setting up club teams, moving players from tryouts over to the club teams, and it's all done through LeagueApps. So to get started here, we will want to first set up our tryout. So the easiest way and the most efficient and the way that I see it set up most is through events. We will do a grouped program, and we can do lacrosse for our sport. And I mean, it is that time of year. This is kind of why we're doing the webinar, setting up tryouts for the fall. The event name, we'll make it Dan and David's tryouts. And this, remember, is the master program, so you can put your organization's name and tryouts.
And we did a webinar on group program. We're going to be creating a master program for tryouts, but under that you could host all your different age groups, like 10U, which will make an 11, 14, so on and so forth.
Yep, and we can make the activity start date next week. But I do suggest setting up these tryouts a little bit more in advance if you plan on running tryouts. We are going to create one. Now, this is a sub-program. We can treat these as age groups. So we'll start out with 10U age group, and we will make it any. This visibility is very important. So this makes the registration button actually show up on your website. So if we leave it public, that means that we can blast this out to anybody. Let's say you ran camps and clinics. We can then shoot a message through LeagueApps with these tryout links, or saying, hey, make sure you sign up for tryouts, clicking on the register button on the front end of your website. So we can target past programs so we can get the most signups for our tryouts. Activity start date again will be next week, and we will open up registration today, and we will end it on the 20th. It'll be upcoming. You plug in some days and times of when this program is going to, or when these tryouts are going to take place. Allowed registration types in the registration options. We feel that it is the easiest for players to sign up if it's just an individual sign up. So we don't need to register for groups or anything like that. We don't need program staff. We just need those individuals to sign up, either register for free if you run free tryouts, or sign up and pay your fee. Age range restriction, we can put this in there. It's kind of optional, but since we do have it tiered with the sub-programs of the age groups, this is kind of like a double check. And we can be notified of how many people show up, or register, sorry. And I'm going to actually make this free for my tryouts here. You can certainly plug it in and make it $50 or however much you want to charge.
And this is important to note that you're just setting up the payment for the tryouts right now.
Yes, it's not connected to the club team yet. You can have your confirmation, and we are going to save this. Now, next is a very important step of form fields. This is some information that you want to collect on the player during tryouts. So when they sign up for a tryout, a sport, usually position, is very important to know. And you can certainly make this a drop-down list and offer the positions, or you can make it a single text field, and it'll be required. We can hit Add Property. We can see that it is added in there, and we have it asked for the individual. You can ask any other question that you see fit for your tryouts here. Now that we have all of our form fields in the correct program, we can now copy over this event. You won't want to copy it over without adding any form fields, as they will not copy with the program. We can copy event. We can simply change to 12U. Everything will stay the same. If a date is different, we can just change the date. Let's say it's the 21st. For this, everyone's going to be the same. We just want a breakdown of all the players. We can create subprogram, and now we have our 10U, our 12U. Our 12U has the same exact form fields as we copied it over, and I'm just going to go log in as Michael Jordan, even though he is not a lacrosse player, his kids are. So we logged in as him. We'll go back to our events here, Dan and Dave's tryouts, and we are actually going to sign up for these tryouts. We'll sign up for the 10U, and we will select Junior Jordan first. We will register Junior Jordan. As you can see, we have our position. He will be a goalie. We will agree to both waivers. We're going to add another registration, and we are going to select Baby Jordan. We are going to register. And if this was pay-based, the invoices will snap together, and you could pay them all at once. He'll be at attack, and we accept the waiver. We continue on, and now we can go to our dashboard here, and we can see that Dan and David's tryouts for Junior Jordan and Dan and David's tryouts for Baby Jordan. I will now pass it over to David so he can go and walk through how to set up the club teams now that we have our tryouts taken care of.
Yeah, exactly. Like Dan said, when you get to the point that your tryouts have been completed and all the kids are in the system and registered, you have your teams set up already in your mind, well, now it's time to set them up on the program. So we can go to manage all programs, and then we can create a new club team. We will make it a group program to match the tryouts. This will be Dan and David's club team. So we'll make it, the sport will be lacrosse again. There it is. And then the season will be for fall. Now, what we want to do is, for this, the visibility is going to be, we want to make it private. And this is because you already have your teams picked out, so the registration is not open for the public. This way, by making it private, only people, the select people who made the teams will be able to register for the program. And we'll show you how to send them an invite in a little bit.
Yeah, that is definitely, you don't want David here playing on your lacrosse team.
You don't want me signing up out of the blue. So we'll create it. Well, the activity start date will be in August, and we'll create our main program. Now, like Dan did before, we'll create a sub-program for our 10U team. Now we'll go in. The activity start date will also be August 1st, and you can set a registration date well, no, you won't. And then you can enter in all your information. We'll go in and save and edit options to go to the registration options. Here we'll have individuals be able to sign up. You can set an age range. And then now this is where you can create an invoice and actually charge the players to participate in the club team. So our club team is going to cost $100, and you can have them pay in a few different ways. They'll be charged $100 up front, or you have the option to create payment plans. And here you can check enable and disable payment plans. We covered them in our last webinars, so go to support@leagueapps.com, type in webinars, and you can find our payment plans webinar and a whole bunch of other ones. So if you want to learn how to enable payment plans, check there.
And those private payment plans are great for if you have one or two scholarship players. And in that webinar, we actually walk through setting up these payment plans for a scholarship player and actually redeeming them. So you get to see from the admin side and then as well as the player side of how it looks and the discount that they receive on those payment plans.
And just for the example of today, we're going to set up $100 charge right at registration. So once you save these options, our 10U is set up. We will now, another thing that's important to note is that your form fields will not carry over from tryouts into your club team. You will need to create new form fields for your club team. So we'll collect position again, and then add that property, and then you can continue to add whatever you like, whatever you want to know about the player.
And we also did a webinar on form fields and all the information, whether it be a new member signing up or an existing member, and all the different places that you can capture information. For this, like David said, the information from tryouts will not carry over. So position, even though we asked it in tryouts, will not carry over to the club team. That's why we are going to invite our players and have them fill it out again. So,
in case you haven't noticed, the underlying message is go check out our last webinars. All of them tie together, and they will be informative as you go moving forward. So now that we have the 10U set up, we can copy it over, change the title to 12U, and all of the settings will carry over. We don't even need to set the price again. This one will create the new sub program, and if we go back, this also costs $100 just like before. So now what I'm going to do is go back to our tryouts, and here, now that our club teams are set up, I'm going to show you how to invite the players that made the team onto your club team. So we'll go to our 10U program that we have Michael Jordan's kids on, go to the People tab, and here we'll select the players that made the team and use our bulk action tool, the message players. So here we're going to be sending them a message with a link to register for the program. And if you remember, it was a private program, so only people who get this message will be able to sign up.
And as David is typing out, congrats, you made the team, and attaching that link. And you can just attach the link by just selecting it from the drop-down. Many of you probably are asking, why can't I just move the selected players over to the club team? This is not what you're going to want to do because it will not create a new invoice for the player. So remember, our tryouts were free. And if I move these selected players over, the information would not carry with them from the form fields, and it will not create a new invoice. So $100 will not be charged to these players. So just keep that in mind. We will want to attach this link and message the players.
So now everything is set up. We typed in a nice message. It'll tell you how many players you are contacting, and you have the program, the registration link to the program you would like to invite them to. Now we can send it, and Dan will show you what it looks like on the parent side to sign up their kids now that they made the club team.
So now I will go into my inbox, and I have what it says. The title of it is An Important Message from Dan. Since it is my site, if it's your site, it's going to go to it'll say a very important message from your account. I'm going to click the registration link that was attached, and I get brought right to the 10U, so there's no selecting a different team or anything. And I'm going to register, and I'm going to register Junior Jordan, individual, as we can see, $100. Position, I believe he was the goalie. And I'm just going to check off both waivers. I want to add another registration. Remember, both of Michael Jordan's children got invited to play for the team. So I'm going to register again. And he was the attack. Select both. Register. And I will have to pay for my registration. On the back end here, we can now go into our club teams. We'll click in, and we can now see we have our 2 individuals, and we can see that we have our information, attack, our form field questions answered, and that is how you use the bulk message, and that's how you set up tryouts and club teams all through LeagueApps.
I hope this is helpful, and we wanted to be relevant to the time period. So as you set up your tryouts and as you move your players onto club teams, please, you'll get the link to the webinar, refer back to it, ask us questions, but we're here to help. But this should help guide you through that process as you're setting up your teams.
Yes, please don't hesitate to reach out to support@leagueapps.com, and don't forget to check out all past webinars at support.leagueapps.com, and you could type in webinars on the search tab, and you will get brought to all of our past webinars that we mentioned here. So hopefully you enjoyed this. Look out for our next webinar coming out in a couple days here. And thanks for joining us, and have a great day.
See you soon. We'll let you know what the next webinar is next week.